Yep, thanks. Have a good one. Take care.
All right, what'd you buy there, buddy?
That's how you do it, baby. That's how you do it. They're trying to make a big deal. You sneak in and you get that.
What do you got?
But now MikeO is part of that
I
card.
got the Gronk.
So I'm in on this card at about 5%. So we'll see. Can't wait to cash in big time.
$85.
What's going on, everyone? MikeO back with my Philly show recap, the 2023 spring show. Philly show, awesome show. I talk about it all the time. I attend essentially every one. It's a regional show that takes place 3 times per year. You get spring, you get fall, and you get the winter show. And the spring show, to me, always feels like it has the most excitement behind it. It's the show where there's the highest percentage of people I know at. Now, I know people who attend and go to every show, but the spring show, it seems like more people are able to make it out, and there's a lot of excitement for the show. And I kind of see that as, for many people, it's their first show of the new year or their first big show of the new year. And I think that's why you get it. And this year, this spring, this previous show was more of the same. Incredible turnout. Very crowded. A lot of people waiting before the show. Obviously, as the hours go on, it fills up even more and more, but very crowded. A lot of people there for autograph guests, but a lot of people there to purchase cards, to look at cards, to sell cards, to pick up cards for their collection. Huge turnout for sure. And ton of dealers, close to 200 dealers. This is what I was able to pick up for the collection. I was there at the show got there about 20 minutes before it started, before 9 a.m., and I was there past the point that the show had concluded. The show went till, I believe, 5. I was there till 5:30, 5:45, something like that. So long day at the show. There was a trade night afterwards as well. Went there, kind of hung out there, didn't really participate or attempt to really make any deals or anything, but it's always fun going to the Philly show just to look around, just to see all the cool stuff. A lot of vintage, a lot of pre-war mixed in as well, and of course, tons of modern. You get the wax dealers. It's your typical big show. There is a vast variety of stuff, and a ton of people. Was able to hang out with my buddy Ed Wesker Griff, Reese ND Card Ranger. Super awesome to see Reese. B. Roth 6, made a couple of small purchases from him. Andrew Nuff Said Cards, and so many more over at the trade night. Got to see and talk to briefly Flipping Steve and Sports Card Dad. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few others as well, but it was a fun show for sure. Saw a lot of cool stuff, a lot of deals to be had for sure. It's how can you not have a good time going to a show? The Philly show is so much fun. I do wish it was 4 times a year. That's like the only downside. You get there, you're excited. It's a really fun show here in March, and now the next Philly show isn't until September. It's like weird to think about that by the time the next Philly show arrives, baseball season will be drawing to a close. So it's crazy, but there's still some more big shows to look forward to. The National, of course, coming up in July, and there's a lot of small shows, and I always look forward to attending them all. So super excited to share with you what I got, but just wanted to kind of mention some of those great aspects of the Philly show. If you ever have a chance to attend, I certainly recommend. And this was the first show in a while. First one since I think before the pandemic, where PSA was there. They were there with autograph authentication and take-home submissions. SGC made their first appearance in years. So a lot of the corporate stuff was being set up and some opportunities to get stuff graded and such. So really cool to see things moving well, especially during continued uncertain times economic-wise. You wouldn't know that being at this show with the amount of people there, and excited to add stuff to the collection. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these cool pickups.
Philly show so far.
It's good, but like you have to wait until you approach a dealer because of all the dog cases.
So far, so good.
All right, it's the art of the deal. What are we doing here, Ed?
just going to ask what the price is.
Shove your way in there.
You got to wait, though. There's too many Pelican cases here.
I think it's gonna die, so I can take it off.
Philly show pickups. Kind of typical to my typical pickups nowadays. So basically all Philly stuff. Not that I'm not interested in more, but just narrowing down the collection. More so narrowing down the collection pickups recently. Been focusing in more on Philly stuff, and this is a mix. You're going to get some pre-war stuff, some vintage stuff, some more modern stuff, and you're going to get some stuff. It's like, wait, what are you picking up? But it's always fun. So we'll start off with some cheap stuff. This is a Leaf Steel Greg Jeffries card. These cards were made out of metal, and pretty cool set put out by Leaf back in 1996. Greg Jeffries, we know all about him in the hobby. He's one of those hyped hobby guys who actually had a pretty good big league career, but is thought of as an utter failure just due to the hype of his rookie card. But overall, good player, multi-time All-Star and such. I mean, not a superstar in Philadelphia with the Phillies, but definitely have memories of them signing him. Next up, we got a 95 Finest Refractor of Dave Hollins. He was a member of the 93 Phillies, one of my favorite players growing up. Had some really nice years for the Phillies, helping them win the pennant in 93. So cool refractor pickup there. Here's a Drew Bledsoe Sprint phone card. Picked that one up. You know, cheap pickup for the collection, something I didn't have. This one, I'm a sucker for starting lineup cards, any of them, especially the older ones, and this one looked pretty sharp. It's Randall Cunningham. Huge starting lineup fan growing up, so when you find the cards specifically in pretty good condition, it's always an easy buy for me, since most of these were lost or beat up and such back in the day when kids were opening up the action figures. This is a 1987 Jiffy Pop Mike Schmidt from the second annual collector's edition. Just one of those little oddball pickups for the Phillies collection. Pete Rose from Drake's Cakes. Collector's edition, 33 card set from the early 80s, back in 1981. A few autograph pickups. Always have fun picking up some autographs. Haven't done a lot of it lately. Don't really get autographs too much anymore. DTM element is still there. I'm just too busy to have time to work on it, so I haven't done it at this point now in a couple years. And then most of the local signings have gone away. The charity signings, just post-pandemic, they just haven't come back. Anyway, Yoel Hernandez, honestly, no memories of this guy with the Phillies. I'd known this card existed, just never got it. Tough signer, obscure signer, and in the past, I've always seen people asking like $40 for this autograph. I was able to nab it for a couple bucks, so I figured I'd pick it up for the Allen and Ginter / Phillies collection. Got a Chad Durbin. He was a member of the '08 Phillies. Chris Coast, one of the more popular role players for the '08 Phillies and really all-time Phillies. Great story, has a book. Just a fun series. If you don't know about Chris Coast, look up his story. Pretty cool. And I know there's a few Chris Coast fans who watch the channel. So what up to Stemick? What up, Ed? Here's a Connor Brogdon. He was a member of the 2022 Phillies bullpen. Pitched really well in the postseason, so picked up his autograph. Greg Dobbs, he's an '08 Philly. And then a Brandon Marsh autograph, who obviously a current Philly. This one was $5. I figure, what the hell, why not? I mean, Marsh is odd in terms of the hobby. His Phillies stuff, his Phillies rookie stuff, obviously is less of it because he was traded mid-season and just some of the late products. His Philly stuff, though, sells fairly well. His Angel stuff, not so well. Big prospect for quite a while. Played pretty well with the Phils, so we'll see what he does this year. All right, other pickups. Oh, a few more autograph pickups. Well, here's just a cheap one, a Steve Carlton. Cool Upper Deck masterpieces. I got a Von Hayes. Just love that 88 Topps card of him. Good image. Thought the autograph looked really good on it, so picked that up. Al Holland. He was on the mound for the Phillies when they won the pennant, I believe, back in '83. And then Jeff Juden, who was a big prospect, I believe, with the Astros organization. Phillies eventually acquired him. Never really lived up to things in the big leagues, but I do remember he, I believe, started in the kind of a famous game for Phillies fans back in, I want to say 96, 95, 96. Hideo Nomo hadn't been touched by anyone. Sunday Night Baseball. Phillies lit him up. Greg Jeffries hit for the cycle. I believe Jeff Juden hit a grand slam in that game, like a super crazy game on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. So thought that would be a fun pickup. This is a little group of 55 Bowmans I picked up from Brian Roth, B Roth 6 here on YouTube. Card Soup, check out his Facebook group. Always has great items available on Facebook, and then he does some of the shows. Smokey Burgess. Some of these have better backs than others. This one's a little light on the back, but just picked up a selection of Phillies. Ferguson. Don't have a ton of 55 Bowman, so never really tried doing the set, but this probably gets me closer to it, so maybe I'll look into it. Ridzik. And some of these guys who have Bowmans did not have Topps cards, so I think it's always neat. Here's a cool Del Ennis. Got a Clark. Then I picked up this Don Larson, beat up. That's one got in the group. That one may be sold at a future point. And then picked up a couple Bobby Shantz. This one I think I'm going to get signed. Obviously, it's some paper loss and a chip, but really nice card. I have a lot of Bobby Shantz autographs. Don't have the 55 Bowman that I recall. So anytime I can get a cheap Shantz, I kind of jump on it. Bobby is a hero to the TTM community, to the autograph community. Big-time member of Philadelphia sports. Obviously, great years for the Philadelphia Athletics. Pitched a little bit for the Phillies in '64, though he never had a official release in playing days with the Phillies. All right, other pickups. Got this one out of a cheap slab box. Lousy grade, but whatever. 1984 Topps Rubdowns. Horner, Carlton, Quisenberry. So obviously got it for the Carlton. One of those just kind of neat items, oddball items. And honestly, I don't know, grading wise with this type of card it is what it is. Like it looks fine. So no big deal with that. Is a Glenn Gorbis, outfielder for the Phillies. Cool 56 Topps. Love 56 Topps. Beautiful set. Vertical, horizontal. I mean, horizontal cards can be sweet. And 56 is a shining example of that. Beautiful, beautiful set. Anyway, got this one for free from a dealer, which kind of hooked me up in a package deal. So he tossed this one in for free. Appreciate that. This Johnny Callison was part of that deal as well. 1994 Ritchie and Company, Johnny Callison, Global Greats Empire, Gem Mint 10. So I've seen this on eBay in the past. And I don't know. I mean, PSA graded it. Just some advertising thing from the 90s. Just kind of neat. Obviously not officially licensed or anything like that. But kind of a cool card. And I remember seeing it in the past, and it was like priced a little high for something that doesn't really have any specific value. Just a neat oddball one. Offered it as part of a deal I did with them. We'll get to the rest of those cards soon, but before we do that, here's a 1926 to 29 exhibits. Jimmy Wilson, PC back photo background in a VG3. Apparently the dealer just picked it up. Really, it was the color that stood out that drew my kind of attention, and was able to work out a deal with a dealer for this one, so it's a cool one. Jimmy Wilson. Love all this old school Philly stuff, but really love when we have images and it shows like the old school uniforms and stuff. I just think it adds a little bit to it. So really cool postcard for the Phils collection. And then the rest of the stuff is from the previous dealer that I talked about with these two. So I got this from him at the end of the day. I was looking at it early. It's a 58 Hires Root Beer, Kurt Simmons with tab. I don't have any of these ones with the tab slabbed. I think I do have one somewhere just in a holder, but was able to get this one. He had this marked fairly high and gave it to me for more than half off. Super fair deal due to our prior dealings, so I just had to jump on it. Kurt Simmons, he is a Phillies, another Phillies icon, just passed away recently, was local to the area, owned a golf course and a bar and such for quite a while, so really cool pickup there. Obviously, it's much easier to find these without the tab. So miscut, you'd prefer it not to be that way, but it doesn't, to me, the eye appeal is still there. It's still fine, and it doesn't bother me that much, and especially at the price I was able to grab it at. And then the bigger pickups, so you kind of toss this one in, is from Larry Schenk. This was part of the next card I'm going to show off. But this is a 1964 Topps Rookie Banquet card that they had out there. So super cool. Richie Allen. So obviously from a rookie year. These are blank backs. There are some graded. He did have a graded one there, not of Richie Allen, but of Tony Oliva. So hope to send this one in to SGC, get it slabbed up. But a Richie Allen 1964 Topps Rookie Banquet. So very cool. Not something I knew much about or hadn't seen, and looked it up on VCP. And it's another one of those cards, you look it up and there's like a handful, maybe 2-3 sales in the matter of 12 years. And it's one of those, if you have a chance to work out a deal, pick it up, add it to the collection. If you want it in the collection, that's the time to try and pick it up. So really sweet Richie Allen for the collection. And then in the deal, I was also able to grab this Larry Boa. This is a 1974 Topps Decollage Larry Boa. So super cool pickup there as well. I think this was like a test issue set, if I remember right. But either way, super cool pickups. Like I said, great time at the show, hanging out, meeting up with people, looking at stuff. And I look at it like, I love looking at all the vintage and the pre-war stuff. And then obviously my eye goes towards the Phillies items, and that's what I'm more likely to pick up. But I do enjoy all of it. So I just thought it was another fun and successful show, picking up some cool stuff for the collection, having a good time, going through some of the value boxes, talking about some deals, meeting some new people for the first time, meeting other people. Kind of becomes a tradition to meet up with people at different shows. And listen, pickup show, you can pick up stuff out of cheap boxes, a couple dollar boxes, binders. That's where the autographs are usually in binders. There's tons of fun to be had in the hobby for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the pickups. Appreciate you watching. Comment below. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you next time. Have a great one.